Welcome into the Big Orange halftime reaction show. Jonathan Crompton, former Vols quarterback, Buck Rising, hanging out here with you on a Saturday night. The score currently 13-0. The Tennessee Volunteers. The run game looks good. Jared Garantano's under control. Jay Crop, it's good to be here with you, filling in for Austin Stanley for once.
Man, it's good. It's good to talk to you. It's been a while. We're going to have a fun night. It's going to be a fun night. We'll say that.
It is going to be a fun night, and so far a fun night for the Tennessee Volunteers offense. Not a sexy game, nothing too out of control, nothing. I don't want to call it not too creative, but the game plan works if this is how Tennessee is going to approach it. What was your initial reaction to what we've seen from Jim Chaney and the offense, Jarek Garantano, and them boys?
Man, my initial reaction is I guess they weren't lying about bye week, going back to square one. Go back to do what you do best. I'm looking at the numbers. Eric Gray has ran the ball more than both quarterbacks have thrown it combined. So, we knew we were going to run it, but this is old school, old fashioned, pound the rock, shorten the game, so to speak, because we need to almost – the more moving parts, the worse for us right now in this part of the year because of all the crazy things that have happened with things not going our way. Yeah. So, you know what? Let's just keep it simple and just say we're going to run it, and we're going to run it, and we're going to run it. And, we might kick a field goal. But, that's the way that I feel about it. It's just the first quarter went by like that. Arkansas had the ball one time in the first quarter. That was it.
Yeah. I look at this approach. Well, you know what? Let me not get too cute. Let me do what Tennessee's doing. I got to start this show officially. I'm all out of sorts being the new guy around here. Welcome into the Big Orange live halftime reaction show brought to you by BioPure of Music City and Ashbusters. We're excited to have you guys in. Make sure you share this show around. If you're viewing with us on Periscope, YouTube, Twitch TV, Facebook, whatever you got, we invite you to share this show. If you're viewing on Periscope, it's the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. You go ahead and retweet us to your friends. We'll include them in the Vols halftime reaction with us. Facebook Live, you share now to public, and we are happy to have your Facebook friends involved. Jonathan Crompton, Buck Rising, here with you filling in for Austin Stanley this weekend. We've just seen the first half between Tennessee and Arkansas, a successful first half. I'm curious, though, Crompton, you look at the approach for Kendall Briles in this Arkansas offense, I'm seeing very, very uncharacteristic behavior, uncharacteristic play calling, and I'm wondering if that's your same observation.
It is. Well, I've always thought that of Kendall Briles. He's always a gimmick type guy, even when he was at Baylor and then when he went to FAU with Kiffin. And that, and that was kind of when Kiffin started doing more of the spread type stuff is when he was at FAU because Briles brought that philosophy to him. So but there's a couple more wrinkles that he's thrown in this week, and I'm wondering maybe it's because their stud tight end he hurt his ankle pretty severely, it looks like, or maybe his knee, I think it might have been.
He ripped his helmet off as soon as he went to the sideline.
Yeah, he's not having his. Yeah, I don't either. That's what I'm saying. He's not having his go-to horses. So now he's trying to just go to throw the kitchen sink at him. We're down 13-0, knowing that. One of the few times I'll be able to say this year, knowing that we outmanned them. You know what I mean? And in the sense of, so maybe Arkansas knows that they're running some stuff that I wasn't anticipating them doing. But then again, it is Kendall Briles, and they will do almost anything. But I'm surprised that they've got Felipe Franks running as much against us with our defense that we have rather than some other teams. I can see it against the Vanderbilt, like that. But I'm a little surprised that he's drawn up some of the QB designed runs this week.
Especially given the sideline-to-sideline speed that Tennessee's linebacking core, Henry To'oTo'o, of course, being chief among them, has. We're going to continue to take reaction here on the Big Orange Halftime Show. Quickly, though, I got to remind you about our friends at BioPure Music City, 615-635-0555. That's who you call during cold and flu season. They will hook you up, and they will make sure that you stay clean during this this difficult time of year, this typically germy time of year. Our friends at BioPure Music City are the best in the business. And if you give them a call, again, 615-635-0555, biopureservice.com. All right, Jonathan Crompton, let's go inside the locker room at halftime for these Tennessee Volunteers. Jeremy Pruitt getting a piece of Chris Winkie, by the way, early in that game when they had to call the timeout with Eric Gray getting ready to take the direct snap. Jim Chaney, Jeremy Pruitt, what are they telling this team in the locker room right now at halftime?
Well, to touch on what you said about him getting, kind of ripping him a new one, when you have a wrinkle and you've got a new play that you haven't shown all year, and it's to actually, you're in the red zone on the 3-4 yard line, you do not take a delay of game. You don't even take a freaking chance. So the quarterback coach is the OC on the field. He would have ripped into Chaney, but he had Winkie. So Winkie got the end result of that, because that's unacceptable. You don't do that, because now you just gave away a play that you've practiced a few times this week that took away from something else.
Right.
But to kind of touch on the locker room, I mean, they're going in here saying, "Hey, Eric, I hope your legs are feeling good, because you're running the ball well. 19 for 89 and a touchdown. We're going to keep running the ball. We're going to shorten this game, because the less moving parts we have, the better. And we're showing that we're a better team than Arkansas, which we all knew. But we're going to do it, and it's essentially this game is going to be Eric Gray's to win or lose."
And I think to a certain extent, not just Eric Gray, but this offensive line. I mean, they look like they have come out with a particular passion, with a particular emphasis on firing off the ball, inflicting their will upon this Arkansas front seven. And I'm sure that message is being carried not just to the running backs, but to the offensive line as well.
Well, I was a little nervous after the very first play when the whole left side just whiffed.
Right.
And I was like, "Oh, that's just great." Part of
you texted me. You go, "Get ready for a long night, bud."
Because I mean, it almost seems like somewhere in the first 3 plays of every game, we're just going to have a bonehead mistake. That bonehead mistake, when you're handing the ball off and the running back runs right into 3 guys, that could be a catastrophic mistake. And it's almost like already. And that was the mindset that I had. But then something happened. We had a 16 or 17 play drive to go down there and get a touchdown on the second drive. So something started clicking, and the left side of the line started dominating.
Right.
They didn't obviously start well, but by God, they have came to play now. So I'm excited to see what happens in the second half. I think that, I probably should have said this to begin with. My initial reaction is I really wish I would have played Eric Gray on my DraftKings. Because it looks like it's going to be that type of game.
Indeed.
And I didn't. So now I'm kind of upset. I'm going to lose my $1 that I put in there. But that's the game plan we're going into, is we're just going to honestly just keep running it. But what I have liked to see is Garantano, in the sense of his stats are not eye-popping. We knew going into this game they weren't going to be. But the few times he scrambled and ran and not turned the ball over is a positive.
Indeed.
And it's kept the drives going. So I think we're going to maybe take a shot or two, and they're just telling them, "Hey, stay the course, because we are going to play action at some point, like in a good deep play action." But right now they're just saying, "Guys, we know what we came to do. We came down here to do the old Arkansas with Darren McFadden, and just know that we're going to run it right down your throat, and we're going to do that."
Yeah. 5 for 8 for 42 yards so far for Jarek Garantano. Obviously, Eric Gray scoring the touchdown, and 2 Brent Samaglia field goals have this lead up for Tennessee at 13-0 at the half. Continue to weigh in on Facebook, on YouTube, on Periscope, what you've liked, what you've seen so far, your initial reaction. David Fletcher says O-line is looking fresh. John Coley, if they stop the run, what will happen? I assume he's talking about Arkansas. If they take away the running game from Tennessee, I don't know if they're capable of that right now. I think that remains to be seen. But if that is the focus, the defensive adjustments that Barry Odom makes in the second half for this Arkansas team, how does Tennessee counter?
Well, I mean, think about it, though. First off, that is a phenomenal question, because Arkansas has coaches just like we do. They're going to go in and say, "Hey, guys, they're going to run the ball. stack the box. Make this kid that is not as confident in his ability right now throw the ball.
Right.
Bottom line. So our plan is to not let them do that. But that's why I mentioned the word play action. We're going to try to get them into an 8-man box, having 3 defenders deep, which process of elimination, they can only have 1 single high safety, and do some sort of either deep crossing routes by the 2 receivers that we're going to have on the field in a 22 personnel, or something, and actually go out here and take a deep shot, whether it's just, hitch and go, deep crossers, post corner, something. That's the only way we're going to keep them honest. So we have to be able to throw the ball a little in some way, shape, or form to not let them just stop the run.
Right. You can't. You
can't just completely abandon the pass. But if they stop the run for good, we're going to have to. I saw somebody earlier ask, why don't we run just slants and posts like everybody runs on us?
Yeah.
When we start seeing these guys play outside leverage, we're going to have to do some zone read, inside throws, whether it's an inside hitch, inside slant, little, pop route by the tight end, something that we're going to have to start using that other teams use, because it is a copycat league. That's what football is. But for some reason, we're not doing that right now. So maybe that's in their back pocket. I'm not 100% sure, but something we're going to have because they're going to start stacking the box and say, you're not going to run the ball. So we got to have something up our sleeve.
Indeed. We'll take we'll get to your confidence level in the Vols moving forward in the second half of this game. Give us your confidence level here on the Big Orange Halftime Reaction Show. Jonathan Crompton, Buck Rising in this week. Scale of 1 to 10, your confidence level in the comments section on Facebook Live, Periscope, YouTube, and Twitch. We love to see you guys. Hope you're having a lovely Saturday evening. Hope this is providing some much-needed distraction from everything else that's been going on today. There's a lot going on in the world, so at least you got a little Volunteers football to take your attention off of things. Scale of 1 to 10 in the comments section. First and foremost, though, I got to tell you about our friends at ashbusters.net, except the graphic went away. There it is. Ashbusters.net, your chimney experts. Check them out at ashbusters.net. Sweeping, inspections, masonry. They are the best in the business for a reason. Give them a call or check them out online. Ashbusters.net, your chimney experts here in Middle Tennessee for all of your chimney sweeping, inspections, or masonry needs. They will hook you up just like they do us here on the A to Z Sports Network. All right, before we throw it back to the SEC Network and the broadcast ongoing, scale of 1 to 10, Crompton, how you feel about the Vols moving forward in the second half?
Yeah, I like our chances. I'm not as optimistic as some people on here. I see a lot of 8s. I'm honest. I'm gonna go probably a 6-5.
Okay.
And the reason why is because of the comment we just talked about a minute ago. If they come in and stop the run, I don't know if we have the confidence to win in the pass game. And that's just the bottom line. I would love to sit here and say, hey, we got the lead at halftime. We're going ahead. We got a 9-5 chance to win. I'm just not feeling it in that way. I still think we win. But if they stop the run, it's going to make it a lot harder on us. So that's why I think Chaney was trying to shorten this game a lot.
Yeah.
And the fact of he knows that we got some playmakers outside, but we're just lacking the confidence that to get it there right now. And you know what I mean? Like early in the year, obviously, when we were throwing the ball 20 times in the first half and then just running the ball. Now we're got eight attempts.
Right.
So I wonder, that tells me all I need to know. I
wonder what you make, and let's get to some of the comments. Colin is at an 8, as you said. A lot of optimism right now with Tennessee leading 13-0. Matt says a 7, as does Doug Newman. Karen O'Keefe at an 8. DeWitt Kid right about with you, Crompton. He's sitting at a 6. 10 all the way, baby. Kyle Adams doesn't give a damn.
There we go.
For your pessimism. He is here for the Big Orange. 10 for Kyle Adams. In the comments on Facebook, John Visser at a 7 out of 10. A lot of 7s. 6.5 question mark, says David Fletcher. Indeed. I would say that I'm about a 6 because I look not to copycat you, but what it comes back to is if they get hit in the mouth, if Tennessee gets hit in the mouth, how does Garantano respond? We see him feeling himself out here a little bit. in the first half. And warranted or not, he hasn't been asked to do a ton, but his offense is playing efficiently. They're not having to rely heavily upon him. If he feels the need to get his energy level up, I think that's all well and good. But if something works to the detriment of the Tennessee Vols, I don't necessarily have all the confidence in the world that he personally, as the leader of this offense, will be able to bounce back in that regard.
I'm 100% agreeing in this last comment by Drew. If Arkansas scores first, I'll get a little nervous.
Yeah.
If they come out and they come down and they just make a long, lengthy drive or some fluke play and just score, that's going to make me a little nervous because our game plan is to have a lead to shorten the game.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a fun second half to watch, but it is going to be very interesting, to say the least, on what we do, not if, but when they stack the box. Because we're going to have to take a shot. You saw us. We took a shot there in the end zone near the end. Bad ball placement. You got to throw that on the outside shoulder, and now Johnson's got a chance of making that play. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying, that earlier in the year we saw that throw being made. Look what happened in the first half of Georgia with Palmer. Perfect outside placement. Now the ball's somehow leaning a little more inside. There's a little bit of a lack of confidence in between the ears. So that's where I'm not 100% sold if they stop it, that we can make a game-winning drive by throwing the ball.
There will be a lot to discuss at the end of this game. I am sure either Tennessee will be 2-4 or 3-3 down there at Arkansas. Things trending up right now as they lead at halftime, 13-0. Jonathan Crompton, myself, Buck Rising, we will be back with you for all of the post-game reaction after the conclusion of tonight's game. This has been the Big Orange Live Halftime Reaction Show. Cromp, I'll see you here in about an hour and a half or maybe less. If they keep running the ball like this.
You never know. We might be back here after I finish my second coffee.
Listen, a brave man drinking coffee. What is it, 9 o'clock your time? You're living dangerously.
10 after now. Man, these 7:30 games get me. I gotta drink my coffee to stay awake, man. I'm an early bird nowadays.
Keep the faith. Keep the faith, Crompton. I'll see you after the game, and we'll see you guys after this conclusion on the SEC Network. Thanks for hanging out on the Big Orange Halftime